الله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وأعز المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين، سيما بقية الله روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء. Dear Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a blessed evening for all of us, Laylat Jumu'ah. That is, inshallah, an opportunity for us to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have a blessed evening and a blessed day, Jumu'ah Mubarakah, inshallah, upon everyone. Continuing on reflections on the lines from this application of the Makarim al-Akhlaq, this application of the honorable level of ethics and morality from Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Last week, some of you may remember, as we try and do that on Thursdays, speak about akhlaq and self-purification. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. One who purifies his nafs himself has won, is victorious, and one who does not is at loss. Inshallah, we are amongst those who are the winners, inshallah, the real winners, the winners in the hereafter. And that reflects itself here, by the way. The lines that we were up to were when the Imam salawatullah wa salamu alayhi, he says, وَحَلِّنِي بِحِلْيَةِ الصَّالِحِينَ وَأَلْبِسْنِي زِينَةَ الْمُتَّقِينَ, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the salawat. In every section he does the salawat, which is as dua that is answered. It is confirmed and answered. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As we read in the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us after telling us, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Therefore, it's a dua that is answered. After that, he asks, وَحَلِّنِي بِحِلْيَةِ الصَّالِحِينَ, beautify me with the outfit, with the dressing or the way that the righteous dress up. وَأَلْبِسْنِي زِينَةَ الْمُتَّقِينَ, and further dress me up with the ornaments of the pious ones. Again, this is not about a physical attire or dress code, although that may be part of it. Obviously, modesty and so on is part of the Hilyat al-Salihin and Zinat al-Muttaqeen. However, that is not what it is referring to, or that is not all that it's referring to. There is more than that, and therefore the Imam expands and explains. As we read in the Holy Quran, I mentioned the ayah last week, وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. The outfit of taqwa is better. An outfit of taqwa is after the outfit that is mentioned in the ayah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, libas, that the outfit that covers your body, yuwari sawatikum warisha, and the beautification. You know, sometimes it's not just for covering, but also for beautification. Insan dresses up for basically beautifying oneself. Again, it is a sad state that we tend to think in the modern day that you have to undress to beautify yourself. In fact, it's the other way around. If you are to draw angels, you don't draw them naked, yes? You draw beauty. You draw, nobody draws or depicts Lady Maryam, Salamullah alayha, Lady Mary, or any honorable, beautiful figures in humanity naked. Rather, they draw them with some nice clothing on them, which is how they dressed, in fact, and that's the beauty of insan. However, after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِبَاسَ التَّقْوَى وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. The outfit of taqwa, piety, which is the home of piety. Taqwa is the heart. It is not the body. It's not the outer shell. It's what comes from the inside. Therefore, a good heart has, for instance, things like generosity, things like kindness, things like forgiveness. All of these beautiful attributes of insan, of humanity, are from the heart. They're not, you cannot say somebody is dressed with generosity. Somebody displays generosity because it's in their heart. Displays it how? By giving, for example. That's display of generosity. It resides in the heart. However, it's displayed by giving. Displays forgiveness. So all of the beautiful attributes of insan is what we need to beautify ourselves with. He says, في بسط العدل. The first one is to spread justice. And bast al-adl could in fact refer to many aspects of the justice, the term justice, and many aspects of being in line with God's law. Adl, and that is why when we come to one who is to, for instance, lead jama'ah, we say they have to be adl, yes, they have to be just. Or somebody who is to be witness in a court, in Islamic court, they say it is also a condition that they have adala, they are just, yes. Or somebody who is to be the judge in an Islamic court, for example, obviously they have to have the characteristics of, or the character of adl, justice. And what do we refer to justice here? In the very basic one is that they don't openly commit sins. If somebody defies God's laws, they are no longer just. Therefore, this bast al-adl could be many aspects of one's life. For instance, what I shared earlier, even the dress code, modesty in the dress code is part of bast al-adl. You know, because one thinks about everybody else, not just the self, not being self-centered and selfish, rather thinks about the society and what's best for the society and what's best for others. This is adl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He brought messengers, books, He commanded messengers and the righteous ones to in fact fight. In order to do what? In order to expand territory? Never. لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ بِالْقِسْطِ. To establish justice, to spread justice on earth. The job of prophets was to establish justice. And sometimes to establish justice, you need to have some power. You have to have some strength. You have to have some, in some cases, you cannot establish justice if you don't have an army, for instance. So all of that is part of justice and spreading justice. Fi bast al-adl is to make sure that within oneself, one is in fact adhering to God's laws and spreading it, meaning advising others, reminding others, in some cases standing against injustice with the oppressed, with the one whose rights have been taken. So this is the first one, fi bast al-adl. We could go on and on, however, for the sake of keeping it brief. The next line, the Imam says, وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْظِ. As you try to establish justice, there must be a link between those lines the Imam shares, although they are each a separate line and each has its own elaborate meaning. However, they have to be somehow linked. The next one, he says, وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْظِ. Kadhm al-ghayz is a concept from the Holy Quran. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the righteous, the believers, the good ones as those who they suppress and control their anger. So if they get angry, they control it. They don't allow their anger to overtake them and to, God forbid, to make them deal with others with unjustly, or to become unjust, to oppress. وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, let not your hatred towards other people, the fact that you detest somebody, you have a problem with someone, your relationship with someone, let not that take away your justice. وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا. And then he once again reminds us, اعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. Make sure you are just, because that is the better way, the closer way to justice. Therefore, kadhm al-ghayz is very much related to adl. One has to always control themselves and not ever allow their anger to control them, to take basically control of their emotions and their hearts and their minds, and therefore their actions, and God forbid, oppress somebody, take away someone's rights, defame somebody, offend somebody, speak ill behind someone's back. A lot of the sins regarding people happen when one is angry. It's not difficult to be kind and nice and generous and forgiving when you're happy with somebody. When everything is fine with someone, it's not difficult to do justice to them. The important thing is to maintain justice and establish justice when you have a problem with somebody, when you are angry, when somebody angers you. Imam Ali alayhi salam, the last line I will share, he says, you want to test somebody, make them angry. If you want to test a friend and see if they're really just, somehow make them angry. Now, it doesn't mean that you have the right to, God forbid, do something sinful to them, but somehow, try and say something. Obviously, you can correct immediately, but see how they react. If they react with injustice, then you know that they are not real friends, or they don't really mean well. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the opportunity to spread justice even when we are angered. We ask Him to make us amongst those who listen to what's said and follow what's best. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله.